What's up, everybody? So last night was UFC 270, and we saw Francis Ngannou successfully defend the UFC Heavyweight Championship. Now, if all the rumors are true, that was Francis Ngannou's last fight on his UFC contract. There has been a lot of speculation out there as to what Francis is going to do next, if he's going to go box Tyson Fury, if he's going to go box Deontay Wilder, or if he's going to stick around in the UFC and fight Jon Jones. And last night, after the fight, something strange really happened. Something that's only happened not even a handful of times over the years. The only other time that comes to mind right off the top of my head of when this happened is when Anderson Silva successfully defended the middleweight title against Damian Maia. And what I'm talking about is how Dana White did not put the belt around the waist of the champion, Francis Ngannou, after the fight. And also, Dana White did not go to the press conference last night either. One of the big highlights after UFC events is always Dana White's post-fight press conference briefing he has with the media, probably because he didn't want to get hounded with questions about Francis Ngannou, about why he didn't put the belt around Francis's waist, about Francis's contract situation, if he's going to allow Francis to go box or anything like that. And Francis didn't even know that Dana did not go to the press conference either, and seemed surprised when one of the reporters asked him, or when one of the reporters stated that Dana didn't show up. He even responded with something like, Dana didn't come to the press conference, and they just kind of like smile and nodded. One of the reporters asked Francis if what he was going to do next, and he said he hadn't made a decision yet, but the reporters brought up the fact that if he doesn't fight until December of this year, that he will be a free agent. They asked if not fighting on a regular basis was frustrating to him. He said no, he's only fought one fight a year for the past few years anyway, so that would be normal to him. It sounds like he'd be quite happy to sit out until December if he doesn't come to an agreement with the UFC and then go do whatever it is he wants to do. He'd probably spend the next year training for strictly a boxing fight anyway. He's not just going to step into the ring with Tyson Fury, the greatest boxer on the planet right now, and just think he's going to compete. He's going to take at least a year to train for that fight anyway. He has a couple of knee injuries as well. He wore 2 knee sleeves, one on each knee last night going into the fight, which definitely looked like it affected his cardio, not the knee sleeves specifically, but the fact that he wasn't able to probably do a lot of cardio heading into this fight. He looked gassed, but that did not stop him from putting on a wrestling clinic for the last 3 rounds of that fight. Who would have thought that we'd see Francis Ngannou out there doing jiu-jitsu, out there doing wrestling? It just shows how much he's elevated his game. So that's what's going on with Francis Ngannou, the UFC, Dana White, and the contract situation. We have not heard a thing from Dana White. Nothing. Since yesterday, he's given 0 interviews as of me doing this video. Francis spoke at the post-fight press conference and basically said he's going to be happy to sit out until December if it comes from that. They asked him about Jon Jones. He states that he doesn't know what Jon wants to do. He said he was very excited about that fight, but that fight didn't end up happening. Doesn't mean it's not gonna happen, but he states he was very excited about it, and he doesn't seem as excited about that fight right now. I'm sure Dana White will come out soon and say something. It's going to be extremely interesting to see what he has to say, to see why he didn't put the belt around Francis's waist, what the contract situation is going to be, if they're going to try to negotiate with Francis, or if they're just going to let him go. Crazy time. The UFC heavyweight champion could possibly never fight in the UFC ever again. What do you think? Do you think Francis will re-sign with the UFC? Do you think the UFC will let him box? Or do you think he's just going to ride out his contract and go somewhere else and do something else? Let me know what you think. Leave some comments below. Hope you're having a great day. See you again soon.